So, the format of this is that I'll do about 10 minutes of very gentle warm-ups just to get the qi and the blood flowing well in the body. And then we do our standing meditation. And so if you don't want to do the warm-ups, you can just fast forward to the 10 minutes to where the standing meditation begins, the healing meditation. So the warm-up's very simple. Just good to do some very gentle turning from the waist. Okay, so we start at the lower dantian, and it's gently moving this area from side to side. So we just feel into the spine. We just gently move. And then stretch the spine out a little bit. And then release the spine and just allow the whole body to turn. Just allow the hands to gently tap. So we'll just do about just a few minutes of gentle warm-ups just to get the body moving. And then we'll do our standing and sitting qigong. It doesn't really matter whether you choose to stand or whether you choose to sit. What's really important about this class on a Wednesday is about the mind activity. So when I first started doing qigong, who knows, 30-something years ago, people didn't really talk about the importance of the mind. They talked about doing exercises. When I started to study medical qigong, we talked about 50-50. 50% of the problem was in your body, 50% of the problem was with your mind. Soon as we studied deeper into it, and I studied various other teachers, there was a suggestion that maybe 80% of the problems came from your mind, and that only 20% of the problems were from the body. And now if you listen to Joe Dispenza, he says 95%. So I presume probably the answer is 100% of everything comes from the mind. The body is obviously a crucial place to work. It's a very simple, easy place for us to start our healing. And it seems to be the most obvious because we're always worried about our physicality, what's going on, if you can see lumps or bumps or doctors give you a diagnosis. So the physical place is obviously the best place to start. And I think that the point about it is that what we do is we try to create a kind of a solid foundation on which our minds can rest, let's say. And so as we work away with the body, things automatically solve themselves. Sometimes I've come across classes where people would just be working away doing a very simple exercise and then just suddenly burst into tears and then not really be able to explain what happened. Why? I don't know why I started crying, but I did, And that's just the body allowing us to trigger a healing. So working through the body is a really important methodology. And that's why, we have the Tuesday morning and the Thursday morning class doing the various different forms that Dr. Pang worked with. But I saw a lecture from Dr. Pang, not a lecture, a comment from Dr. Pang yesterday that was put up, and I put it up onto our WhatsApp group. And he was saying, everything is about the mind. It's all about your mind activity. But of course, if you're worrying about your body, it's very difficult to have, stable mind activity. And so we work on the body. The more we get into a quiet, gentle qigong state, the more we're able to have a stable mind. And the more we're able to have a stable mind, the more we're able to heal ourselves. So to give you a brief tour of what we're talking about from a 𝐬𝐤 qigong perspective, Dr. Pang uses a four-piece system, let's say. There are four aspects to the human being. One is that you are your true self. This is the perfect, clean, spiritual part of you, which is having this experience, the pure consciousness of you. We call it 𝐸𝐸 in Chinese. So this is this perfect version of you. And then the perfect version of you is rather crowded, piled on top of by what he calls your second-hand self. And these are all the images that are given to you, all the stories that are given to you by your family, by your doctor, by your religion, by your school, by your colleagues, by your lovers, by your children, by society as a whole. And so if you think about who we are, sort of see, I've got a bookshelf behind me. And if you imagine that the bookshelf, the actual structure of the bookshelf is my true self. And all the books inside, with all of their information, are what we see as Jeremy. Each one of them is one of my stories. Each one of them represents Jeremy as a qigong player, Jeremy as a therapist, Jeremy as a father, Jeremy as a someone who likes to do woodwork, Jeremy is a rugby fanatic. All of these things, each one kind of builds up to how you see me, the facets of my life. And so, and not all of them are good, is the point. We would love to think that every single one of the books in our library is a good book, but very often we know that actually, there are a lot of horror stories in the library as well. And so, obviously we'd like to do a clean out and take all the horror stories out and throw them away and only leave the good books behind, I suppose would be the analogy. He also says there are a lot of stories that we tell ourselves. So this is the third persona, if you like, is the stories we tell ourselves. I'm not good at this, I'm a bad person, I'll never be happy, all of these things. And there's a whole brand of things that cover over your beautiful true self that are inflicted by you, self-inflicted wounds. So perhaps there's another little part of the bookshelf, which is just a section of books you've written yourself about yourself. And then finally, there's the ego. I haven't got a dog, but a dog would be a great visual aid to finish this story off. The dog would be standing in front of my bookshelf, barking at anybody who wanted to try and question those books, wanted to try and look at the books too closely. And so the ego is this kind of protector of your stories. And so we have this kind of idea that we're made up of all these stories, be they good or bad, and the stories operate on the body. And so there's a story deep inside that says something about illness, and then it connects the illness to our demise, and then there's this kind of whole fear story. So deep inside we have a story that's marked fear of death. And what happens is that every time we look inside that book, it scares us, and that sets off a chain reaction of chemicals in the body. Toxic chemicals go pouring through the body, and then various different organs respond to that. And so you have this toxic chemical cascade in your body that's just been set off by one of your stories. So your sister or your mother walks into the room and says, blah, blah, blah. And then that story gets triggered inside you. You think, oh God, no, not again. And then the same toxic chemical cascade goes rolling through your body. And the same chemicals hurt your internal organs. And then an organ system gets put under pressure again for the 100th time, for the 1000th time. And then the problem is continued. So what we do on our Wednesday is we allow ourselves to drop all of these things. We allow ourselves to let go of all of the rubbish. We try and clean out those ideas. We try and get rid of the things that hurt us. We allow ourselves to dissolve into chi and no longer be our stories. Okay, so sorry, I've rambled on for a long time with this exercise. Let's just bring it to a gentle stop. And if you feel dizzy, we can do this next exercise 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, however often you need it. Just lift the hands up, draw the chi down through your body. Just feel the relaxation that this brings to you. So this last exercise we were doing can make you feel a bit dizzy. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. So this one is about rebalancing yourself. Imagining lifting chi up, a beautiful ball of chi, and then drawing it down through your body, moving it down all the way to your belly. So the belly is where we store all of our energy. So we imagine this chi moves down and gathers deep inside. And then when we let our hands go, we just have a continuation of chi down our legs back into the earth. So let's gather that ball again. Lift up, gently lift up. And then imagine the healing effect of this chi pouring down. Any excess energy moves out of your head, any excess energy moves out of your chest. It all gathers deep in your belly where we store this energy. And then as the hands relax, we're just making a circuit back into the earth. Should we do that again? Sometimes you don't really notice it, but you tend to breathe in as you lift up. And you tend to gently breathe out as you take the hands down. It's not necessary to think about the breathing. It just kind of does its own thing. And then let the hands relax. So if you still feel lightheaded, do that exercise another 2, 3, 4, 10 times, just to get yourself feeling stable again. If you're feeling sort of tingly and the chi is moving around your body, that's great. If you're feeling a bit wobbly, you can always sit down, lie down, do whatever you need to do. The most important thing is that this is your class. You have to make yourself comfortable. So if you don't want to be standing for any of it, that's no problem. Something I always say to people is that if you're worried about standing for this class, why not put like a sort of a dining chair behind you? And then all you do is you just stand for a little while and see how long you can go on for. And then when you feel tired, you can just sort of drop your bum down onto the chair and sit down. But ultimately, what we're looking to do is to try and stand for the whole class. The reason behind that is that we stand in this posture. I'll just show it to you gently. You just let your knees bend slightly. So not locked like we're standing at a bus stop. We just let the knees bend. We let the tailbone sink down. And the arms just hang gently down because of the seam of your trousers. And this is the standard standing 𝐸𝐸 Qigong posture. We want to have our feet nice and wide apart. So normally people stand with their feet at hip width, same width as their hips, but actually we're talking about shoulder width. So when you look down the outside of your arms, you can see the outside of your feet. So a nice generous stance, knees gently bent, back nice and straight. We just imagine the top of the head kind of pushing up to the blue sky. We imagine the tailbone sinking down to the earth, and we imagine our spine is nice and long. Shoulders relaxed. Lift your shoulders up a little bit. Roll your shoulders toward the back of the body. And then just soften the shoulders and relax them down. Nice gentle lift up. Roll the shoulders towards the back. And really soften and relax. We could do this with a breath, actually. Breathe in gently, lift the shoulders up. Roll the shoulders to the back. And as you breathe out, just breathe out, soften the shoulders down. whole body softens and relaxes. Nice and easy, soft, gentle breathing. So at some stage during this exercise, we're going to do something called 𝐸𝐿, and it's quite simple. You just imagine holding a ball in front of your tummy. No, sorry. Hold your hands in front of your tummy. Imagine a ball. And then what happens is that we gently open the ball out and imagine it dissolving out into the universe, and then gently bring our hands back. Imagine our body, perfect healing. So this is a very simple exercise called 𝐸𝐿. We'll do some 𝐸𝐿 as we go along. But in the meantime, you can just allow your hands just to hang down by your sides. This is what they sometimes refer to as the gunfighter stance. You can imagine your sort of cowboy standing like this. But we just let the elbows be a little bent, the wrists are slightly bent, the fingers are slightly bent, the hands just curl round. So perhaps they're just slightly in front of your thighs or beside them. Doesn't really matter where they hang. We just gently bring ourselves to a soft, relaxed place. Just remind you about the stance once more. Knees are softly bent. Your tailbone, can you push it just a little bit towards the front? Tailbone sits down. Top of the head pushes up. There's this curious idea, Hoi Yin, if you know your acupuncture. Hoi Yin is an acupuncture point that sits between your anus and your genitalia, right in between the legs. We just imagine sort of slightly lifting up there. It's almost like sort of closing, if you imagine your whole body as a kind of a capsule. You know, it's about sort of lifting gently there and imagining everything is contained inside the body. We don't have to do that a lot. We don't have to think about it. We just think once, lift up, Hoi Yin, hold everything inside. And then we just forget about it. Let the whole body relax. On our shoulders, we have this lovely acupuncture point called Jian Jing. It's called the shoulder well. And if you think about kids' shoulders, very often you see they've actually got a sort of a dip in the top of the shoulder where that is. And that's kind of, you know, so the image is almost like you collect water in the dip. I think my shoulders don't look like that anymore, but I remember when you're younger, you have that sort of little dip. And the idea is that that is a collecting point for energy, which connects down into the center of your chest, connects down into the center of your belly. So we have this idea, qi pouring from the heavens down through the top of the head into the belly, qi pouring down onto your shoulders, deep into the belly, qi surging up from the earth into your belly. This lovely gathering of energy, really feeling connected. So I'm just going to sing Dr. Pang's 8 phrases, and I'll explain to you what it is. It's the encapsulation of all of his ideas, and it goes like this. 头天彻地，深藏一场，𝐤𝐥𝐻心上毛绒。一念不起，身如太空，真意交替，有神融融。就神融融，就神融融。Connect with your feet into the earth, beyond the earth, blue sky, beyond the blue sky, out into the universe. From your head, up into the blue sky, into the heavens beyond, out into the universe. The implication is also in front of you, out into the universe, behind you, out into the universe, to your left and right, connect out into the universe. We can feel very trapped inside these little physical bodies of ours. But when we start to relax into the chi state, we can start to imagine ourselves expanding, opening, connecting with nature around us, connecting with the blue sky, connecting with the vastness of the universe. When we start to connect in this way, it allows our body to gently relax. All of the pressures of life can soften and relax out into the chi field. We can let our mind really become calm. When we start to relax in this way, it's no longer obvious what's inside your body and what's outside your body. You soften into the chi field, and then you realize that everything is made of chi. We've always been this way, deeply connected into the chi field. We feel very singular. We feel very alone, contained. But when we soften and relax in this way, we suddenly realize that we are deeply connected to everything around us, connected with nature, connected with the oneness. So just let your whole body relax, let your mind relax, dissolve into the chi field, open. We try to clear our mind. So sometimes I think about Dr. Wayne Dwyer. He used to give a meditation that was called Mind the Gap. This idea of a kind of beautiful, dark stage. So with your eyes closed, it's almost like you're sitting in the audience and you're looking up onto this stage. No lights, just dark, velvety curtains. You're waiting for something to begin. And our mind can be patient in this cool, dark space for a little while. And then eventually something pops up. Our mind thinks about something. And so what we do to keep the mind amused is that we think about a phrase that means something to us. So there's a real particular power in prayers. You might have a favorite one, but for instance, maybe you might pray Christian, Our Father who art in heaven, Hail Mary. There's a kind of a Christian mantra, which is Maharata. There's the Buddhist mantras that we know, Om Padme Om Namah Shivaya, Muslim prayers. The reason that these prayers are so extraordinarily powerful is because they have been repeated so many millions and billions and trillions of times. They've gained their own special power. So we could pick something, as long as it doesn't have any problems for you, as long as it doesn't remind you about times you don't want to remember. You find yourself a very powerful, and I suppose one of the most agnostic ones might be Om Namah Shivaya, because it comes from Sanskrit 6,000 years ago. I don't think it's got too much. Perhaps it's got all the power, but anyway. So Om Namah Shivaya, we imagine that, 3 words. And in our stage that we're gazing gently into, you can imagine that sometimes a noise in your head starts to arrive and you start to think about the shopping or the children or the family. And what happens in Wayne Dwyer's meditation is that you imagine the word Om being wheeled onto the stage in the center of your vision, and the letters O and M are covered in gold. They're covered in jewels. They're covered in flashing lights. There's a big spotlight on this kind of super character that's just been drawn onto the stage. And your mind likes kind of bright, sparkly things. And so you think, oh, look, Om, that's nice. And your mind sort of thinks about this lovely Om symbol. And then you imagine pushing it off the stage. Perhaps it leaves the other direction across the stage, leaving this cool, dark place. And you just rest your mind in this cool, dark place. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you know that the next character, 𝐬𝐤𝐬, is waiting in the wings to be drawn on, to reset the stage. And then Om Namah Shivaya, then Shivaya is there, and then Om comes on again, Namah Shivaya. That you can process these through your vision as often as you wish. But what we do is that we try and hold on to the dark, cool, calm space in between these wonderful, fanciful items. And so very often, when your mind drifts off somewhere else, we can just distract it for a moment by looking at one of these bright symbols on the stage, powerful symbols, and then clearing the stage and leaving it cool, dark, relaxed once again. I came to a much more simple version of this exercise. I once went to a drive-in movie, sitting in my car, watching the film. A rain storm passed over, so we had to switch on the windscreen wipers, just to clear the windscreen of the car so that we continue to see the movie. And sometimes when I'm in this deep meditative state and a thought comes up, I just think to myself, oh, switch on the windscreen wiper, brush the thought away, push it off to one side. I can always look at that thought later. I can always come back to it after I've finished my practice. I don't have to cancel it. I don't have to fight against it. I can gently just wash my internal windscreen and allow the idea to push away, to be looked at later, to be thought about later. So we just leave ourselves, however this inner vision works, leave ourselves in a calm, relaxed, cool place. Try and steady our mind. It's just about practice. We know the mind will try to distract us. The ego will try to distract us. Your ego is like a little child. It doesn't like to be quiet. It doesn't like you to be quiet. Constantly pestering you. Can't we think about this now? Can't we think about that now? But like any child, eventually they have nap time. That great time for parents where you get a few hours in the afternoon where the kid will go to sleep. So now we're just asking our ego to gently sleep and relax just for a while. You will fail. It happens all the time. We gently reset the scene, bring ourselves back to this quiet place, this cool, dark stage, velvety darkness. Of course, thought will pop up. It always does. Then we just reset. Don't feel cross. Don't feel upset. Because the gaps get longer and longer with practice, till eventually you can be quiet inside for really long periods of time. As soon as you slip into this cool, relaxed place, your body moves into healing mode, somewhat akin to sleep, but a little bit more powerful even. The parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. The cells start to clean themselves. The body can start to heal itself. As you quieten your mind, this healing process begins. But also just our standing or sitting posture allows us to start harvesting huge amounts of chi. So we're healing and gathering energy. The more energy you gather into your body, the quicker the healing becomes. Knees gently bent, tailbone softly tucked forward, spine nice and long. Body is open, blood and chi flowing well in your body. Healing taking place now. We softly park the stories of our life to one side. You stop the inner dialogue. Stop the self-criticism. Gently brush it away. Stop other people's criticism. Gently brush it away. Just nature you. You're just a nature person. Connected with nature. This exercise is really nice to do in nature. Just stand for a little while with a few big trees. Stand on some grass. Just allow yourself to be nature. And if you're living in a busy city, there's always some nature around. You can just imagine also being in a nature place. Imagine your favorite park or garden or field. And that connects you with it anyway. So this natural state is a deep healing state. Just stay in this state, just for a few minutes, nice and quiet. Whenever a thought arises, we gently brush it to one side. Try and keep the mind inside the body, deep inside your belly. One of my students once asked my teaching colleague John, "How many hours should I do Qigong a day?" To which John replied, "Why would you ever stop?" And the person looked a bit startled. He said, "It's about the Qigong state, staying in this Qigong state, responding to life from this Qigong perspective." When you settle into this beautiful Qigong state, it becomes easier and easier to remember how it feels. When you're driving, bring yourself to this Qigong place. When you're cooking, bring yourself to this Qigong state. When you're shopping, when you're with your family, we try and bring ourselves back to this soft, empty state. I mentioned this idea of La Qi. It can do a very specific healing. Think about something in your body you might want to remove. So it might be a problem, a diagnosis, something physical, a lump, whatever it might be. There's also the possibility that you've had something removed through surgery and you want to bring it back, a proper version of it, not the broken version, as it were. So this exercise works in two ways. When we open our hands, we can just imagine whatever the problem is dissolving. But also, if we want to bring something back into our lives that we need, we can also gather and bring it back inside. So perhaps, if you've had an operation, one very sort of standard operation is tonsils or adenoids as a child. I often wonder whether we should have those removed or not. But perhaps you think, you've always wondered whether it was a good idea for your tonsils to be taken out as a child. Perhaps you could just put them back in now, working, perfect, healing that surgery, giving yourself beautiful working golden tonsils or adenoids or whatever, a beautiful working golden appendix. Who knows? So it's not only just about letting go of stuff. So it's really, really good at letting go of stuff. But sometimes people need to add things back that they don't feel quite whole. They could have it added back into their bodies. So it works in both directions. But generally what we're doing is we're dissolving a problem. So it might be something very specific for you, like a lump that you want to just go, dissolve, out, let go of. but it might be more specific. It might be a problem in a relationship with your, brother. We're just going to gently open and let that dissolve and it's gone. And then we bring back a beautiful healed version of the story. So sometimes, people say to me, gosh, I don't know what to bring back. It doesn't really matter what you bring back. You can just bring back sunshine into your life. Sometimes when we let go of a person, there's a whole person in your life who creates you such problems, you want to dissolve all of those problems. And what we bring back is a healed version of that relationship. You don't have to know what it looks like. You can just bring back a glorious, working, perfect relationship. If you feel there's a hole that's been left in your life by someone walking out, perhaps, you can just bring back some sunshine to heal that part of your body. So the visualization is really very much up to you. And, I'm afraid I'm unable to really give you any other guidance other than that. Be as creative as you like. And so when we open our hands, we can let go of anything we need, anything, any emotions, any problems. When we gather back, we can bring back exactly the healing we need. So perhaps you might be bringing back energy to your body. Perhaps you might be bringing back a perfect working organ into your body. Perhaps you might be bringing back a perfect relationship with someone. Perhaps you might be bringing back money that's required into your life. Whatever it is you're drawing in, it's all just energy. So let's just open our hands gently. And you don't even have to do the physical movements if you don't want. You can just imagine your whole body expanding and dissolving. And then when we bring the hands back together, you can imagine all this healing pouring in, everything being fixed, everything working well. So we tend to move the hands, but if you don't want to, don't worry. We say kai is the Chinese word for open. So when we say kai, it suggests opening, dissolving, letting go, releasing, all of these kind of ideas. And then when we bring the hands back together, we say her. And her is close, but it's also gathering, drawing back, refilling. All of these kind of ideas are in kai and her. So you can say it out loud if you wish. It's quite nice to do the mantra. But if you want to do it quietly inside, that's also fine. If you don't want to do it at all, you just want to listen, no problem. So let's just gently open the hands up. Ah. Open and dissolve and relax and release. And then her. Draws this healing deep back inside your body. Whatever it is you require, there are infinite resources in our universe, and you are able to gather it deep inside you. Letting go of the stories that hurt you, letting go of the relationships that are toxic, letting go of all of the thoughts that damage you, released, out, gone. The universe is so big, it's able to take all of this stuff. It's all just chi anyway. So our universe just takes and recycles all of these terrible things that we don't want anymore. And it can just take them on and absorb them and turn them into something wonderful. And then you can gather the healing energy back. Everything is chi. There's no such thing as bad chi. It's just chi that you don't need at the moment in your body. Let go, let go, let go. Let go of all the old stories. Let go of all the old pain. Let go of the illnesses. Let go of the old version of you that is no longer needed. Her brings this deep healing chi back inside our bodies, brings this incredible, powerful energy inside, fills us with this healing chi. Open, open, open. Feel the power of nature to rebalance you, to heal you. Feel the power of the universe. The vastness of the universe can sometimes seem a bit scary. So sometimes Dr. Pang says, just think about blue sky, a perfect blue sky day. Everybody can think of a completely clear blue sky. So whatever feels right for you, just soften yourself and open yourself. It's nice to think about being this chi being, no longer the physical. Now, everything turning into energy. And just realizing that everything around you is energy. That we have always been these wonderful chi beings in this lovely chi pool of energy. That our whole universe is made of chi. So as you expand from your body, expand into the room around you, expand into the town or the city around you, the countryside around you. Expand beyond that. Think about your country, your continent. And then eventually we can kind of expand out and almost have like a satellite view of the Earth. See our beautiful blue planet in front of us. It's always nice to stop for a moment and just imagine being able to send a wave of healing light back to our beautiful planet. Perhaps it's for the whole planet, perhaps for it's a very specific place or a very specific person even. Just imagine you have the power to send this wonderful healing wave of energy back somewhere now. Give someone or something a healing on our planet for a moment or two. And then imagine gazing around you. You can see our beautiful sun. You can see our beautiful planetary system. You can imagine the beauty of the Milky Way. All these stars being born in these vast clouds of energy. And then imagine our universe, trillions and trillions and trillions of stars in our vast universe. Everything is chi. Extraordinary, vast resources of chi available to you. There is no lack in this universe. We often feel there's scarcity in our lives. When we think about ourselves at a universal level, we realize there is no scarcity at all. There's enough to support our lives. We just have to allow it to flow. There's this idea that each universe if there are indeed multiverses, that each universe is kind of held together by a balloon of information. So you imagine that the outside skin of the balloon is the information of everything in our universe, information of everything that has been and everything that will be is kind of contained in this vast library of information. And somewhere in this vast library is the blueprint of the perfect version of you. Just in your mind's eye, imagine a grand building with some fantastic steps. Imagine you can walk up these steps and enter this extraordinary, beautiful building filled with billions of books. One of those books is the book of you. So let's go and walk through the library to a bookshelf and pull perhaps a very grand looking volume off it. And you open it up and inside is the story of you. Perhaps it's the story of many lives, if you believe that sort of thing. But it could just be the perfect blueprint of how every cell is supposed to work in your body. You don't have to know how to read the blueprint. You just know that you found the original idea of perfect you. And so you can just scan through it and say, right, I'm going to draw all this great information back into my physical body. So let's just think about closing the book and putting it back on the shelf, working our way out of the library into the vastness of the universe. And eventually we draw ourselves back. We think of our Milky Way. We think about our galaxy. We think about our beautiful planets. Eventually we find our way back towards the sun. We find our way back and we find our little beautiful blue planet. We work our way back to the blue planet and we start to find our way back into our continent and our country, and then eventually we find our way back to our space that we're working in. And now draw this great information back into your body. Imagine every cell in your body can have a copy of this blueprint. Every cell in your body understands what it's supposed to do. Every cell in your body is reinformed by this extraordinary information. But also, we draw back this incredible healing chi, the energy that we can pour back into our bodies. Draw it deep inside. Let every cell in your body be reinformed. Be every cell in your body working in perfect working order. Every cell in your body becomes healthy. We have this vast reservoir of chi inside our bodies that's going to power us through. So now every cell has got this incredible power supply of chi to keep it going. And deep in your DNA, deep inside the nucleus of each cell, there's now the fresh, new, clear information, the perfect working order information that every cell will work well. But also at this vast universal level, we've dissolved the stories we no longer need. In our natural state, we feel how it is to have a perfect body. We feel how it is for our life to get back on track. There's a very simple way to know if you're moving through life in the right direction. Just ask yourself the question, does this make me happy? Not everything in life does make us happy. Sometimes there are procedures we just know we have to do. But having this thing, getting it done, will that make me happy? If you think yes, do it. If you think, I have to do this thing and I still won't be happy at the end of it, then don't do it. Give it up. Walk away. Only do things that make you feel happy or will make you feel happy. Sure, there's some drudgery in life that we have to get through, some boring tasks, but getting them done and out of the way will make you feel happy, then it's a good task to do. and it's worthwhile. Sometimes we have to put the work in to get that little happiness at the end. But if you think, I'm going to do this and it's still not going to make things better, don't do it. Find a way around it. Give it up. Make a change that doesn't require you to follow this path anymore. You have the vast resources of the universe at your fingertips. Change the path of your life. Any moment, you can make a change that will bring about a deep healing in your life. What change is needed? Speaking to this person makes me unhappy. I'm going to avoid speaking to them. Being in relationship with this person makes me unhappy. It's got to go. Doing this job makes me unhappy. It's got to change. These things are making me ill. They have to go. Be honest with yourself. Look for joy in everything you do. Look for some sunshine in every decision. So let's just finish off by dissolving a few things again. So just think a bit more existentially. Think about relationships. Think about jobs. Think about people that we're going to let go of. Remember, it's about making you happy and healthy, not about making other people happy and healthy. You have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, or you can't help anybody else. So give yourself this healing today. Bring, and in that was the word yourself. It's not being selfish. It's being self-centered. It's about realizing that you have to make yourself happy in order to make other people happy. So put yourself first. Sometimes it might be the first time you've done that in a long time. But do it, you must. Make yourself happy. Make yourself comfortable. So let's let go of the impediments, the things that are stopping this from working. Kai, once more. Let's gather the healing chi deep inside. Just a few more. Last time. Feel this healing chi penetrating deep into every cell in your body. Blood and chi flowing well through your body. All functions of your body are returning to perfect working order. Feel this healing. Feel this change. Feel everything is becoming different. So we can just gently let our hands relax down by our sides, and we can just gather chi. So draw the hands to the side, gently lift the hands up. And then we can pour the chi down through the body, gently drawing this energy down. You can feel the chi in your hands, feel the chi in your arms, feel the chi moving down through your body, focusing everything deep into the belly. Draw this chi down deep inside you. Gather and hold the chi deep in your belly. And then let the hands relax and the chi just flows naturally. Do that a couple more times. It's just a nice way of sort of finishing a meditation. Really bringing yourself back to yourself, bringing all this energy deep inside you. And the next time we can just bring our hands onto our bellies. So we just lift up and then let all the chi pour through us and come down to the belly, and we'll just rest the hands there. Bring ourselves back unto ourselves. Really feel yourself deep in the center of you. You've made fundamental changes in your way of thinking. You've changed things at a very, very deep level. Sometimes it takes a little while for the physicality, the body, to catch up, but it will catch up. It just takes a little bit of practice and persistence. The body moves slower than the mind. Well, that's no problem, because you're moving one tiny little incremental step forward in your physical healing, and you're taking a huge leap forward in your mental healing. And eventually that momentum just changes and the body heals as well. So don't worry, just know that everything is getting better. Everything is healing. The body is changing, albeit slowly, but it's not going worse. It's getting better, but step, by gentle step. And the mind is starting to change. Our attitude, all of the patterns, they're dissolving and changing. So think about the body. Deep behind your hands, lower dantian, lots of energy, deep inside. This vast reservoir of chi. It's going to supply healing to your body all day, all week, until you next do a meditation again. So you can imagine this beautiful ball of chi deep inside you. Imagine you can draw it up your spine and illuminate your brain. Everything in your head and your brain working well. Illuminate your neck, illuminate your shoulders, and let the chi pour down to your hands. Illuminate the whole of your spine, your ribs, the upper torso, middle, lower torso, down to your hips and your pelvis and your tailbone. All of that filled with chi, illuminated by chi. Illuminate your thighs, illuminate your knees, illuminate your calves, your Achilles tendon, ankles, feet, to the tips of your toes, the soles of your feet, the whole kind of back surface of your body, the tip of your nose, the tip of your ears, tip of your fingers, every little extremity filled with chi, illuminated by chi, blood and chi flowing well, all functions of your body returning to perfect working order. All functions of your body are healthy. All functions of your body healthy, healthy. Think about your 𝐬𝐞𝐥𝐟 layer. So the 𝐬𝐤𝐿 layer is about 2 or 3 centimeters of chi round your skin, like a beautiful suit of chi, a protective, energetic field round your body. Just imagine it glowing and strong, keeping you safe. And then imagine your chi body. It's like a meter in front, a meter behind, left, right, up, down, a beautiful kind of bubble of chi that contains you. Also protects you, but it also connects you appropriately to the outside world. So we can just imagine ourselves inside these wonderful fields of chi, inside your body, every cell in your body working well. A being of light inside this wonderful fields of chi, safe, happy, protected. Put a big smile on your face. We're just going to draw 3 circles around the tummy button. So just go around 3 times. And this just kind of gathers any excess energy, draws it into the center of the body, brings it back, and kind of keeps it deep inside. And then we can send 3 circles around in the opposite direction. And that's kind of a symbol signal to your body, okay, we're coming back into our physicality, we're coming back into this daily life, we're coming back into this reality, whatever that might be, back into the body. Ready to kind of like continue our daily life. So you can put this big smile on your face, slowly open your eyes, bring a bit of movement back into your hands and into your arms. You can do a little bit of shaking out. And then perhaps you can shake your legs a little bit. If you want to kick out your legs, you can also move the body. If you wanted to do a forward and back bend, you can do that as well, but just do it very, very slowly because you can make yourself terribly dizzy. If you want to just bend over a bit and bend slightly, when you come up, just do it very, very slowly. No need to rush anything. Just give the body a little bit of a stretch and see what it wants to do, just to bring it back into movement. Oh, very good. So we finish off our class by saying 𝐸𝐿. It's Chinese for everything is good already. Everything is sorted. So if you don't want to be part of my YouTube, don't unmute yourself because that attracts attention to you, as it were. But I'll know you're saying 𝐸𝐿, don't worry. And we put our hands up in the air. I count 1, 2, and then we shout 𝐸𝐿, 𝐸𝐿. Everything's good already. So bring your hands up in the air. 1, 2, 𝐸𝐿. 1, 2, 𝐸𝐿. 1, 2, 𝐸𝐿. Kind of a declaration that everything is sorted, everything is fixed. Okay, so we can make a little salute for each other. In 𝐸𝐤𝐿 Qigong, you bring your right hand up and your left hand down on top, and then you sort of pull the fingertips together and put the thumbs on either end. Really nice to have you here today. Thank you very much. Really nice to see you guys. And this is going to go up onto YouTube. And I'm going to put it onto the WhatsApp group. So if you're a member of the WhatsApp group, you'll see a link to it there, and you're able to kind of do the class again. But I would also say, if you could share it amongst your friends and amongst your family, that would be great as well. So look out for the link and share it around. And really, thank you very much for being here today. It's been lovely to see you. Thanks. Bye.